Today, we're going to be creating the Save the Bees sticker. Want to find out how I did this? Stick around. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Susan with Blue Vinyl Stickers, and today we are going to be creating the Save the Bees decal. So before we get started, as usual, I just wanted to let you know that this is the Silhouette Studio Business Edition, and this is version 4.2 something something something. Let's go ahead and get started. So what we need to do for this is I need to grab some clip art, and preferably let's grab free clip art. So I put in here honeycomb PNG free, and this is what comes up. Now this is just a Google search. It's not a Pinterest search. This is a Google search. And when I scroll down, I come across one here that says chicken wire tile mosaic. So I go ahead and click on it. And this is what it is. I come down here and it says honeycomb pattern free PNG. Yay, it's free. So I go ahead and click on it, and this is what I get. Okay, and it's a very nice hexagon pattern, and it will do perfect for what we need to do. So we can download this, and it says download it for free. So what I did before I started this is I created a folder on my desktop that said Save the Bees, and I will be putting all of my files into that folder as we go along. So we can go ahead and click on it, and it will say thank you for downloading. Now here is the one that I did already, so I'm not going to download it again. Okay. Now what we also need is a bee. Well, the bees that I have, I think I will be using, and I found these bees. They were part of a set that I purchased a while ago, so I don't know where I got them. But if you type in honeybee free, honeybee PNG free, then you are going to get a whole bunch of stuff to choose from. And let's go ahead and let's choose one. Let's do one that's easy to trace. Let's choose a vector image, and let's say you like this one. Okay, we're just going to choose this one. Go to the clip art library, and again, it's a vector PNG download. And here it is, and it says clip arts for commercial use. Perfect. So we are going to go ahead and download this and put it here in the same folder, Save the Bees. And we can just go ahead and close this because we don't need to search anymore. And yes, those are my baby kitties. So here is what I have already on my screen, but let me show you how I got it there. If you go up here to the left hand side and click on the folder, click the open folder, and it should open, it will open your Explorer window. Now go ahead and scroll to wherever you placed that folder. Now I told you that I saved it on the desktop, and I made a folder that says here Save the Bees. So I click on the Save the Bees folder, and it opens it. Well, it's already open, so let me just click on something else and I'll show you. You click it, here's the ones that I just downloaded. So first one I'm going to do is the this one, which is the honeycomb, and you open it, and this is what will show up in your software. Don't panic, this is exactly what we want. We're going to go ahead and say open again, and we're going to open up the honeybee. Okay, now because you opened it again, it put it in another window. You didn't lose the honeycomb, it's right there in this tab. So there's the honeybee here. We're going to right mouse click and we're going to say copy. Click on this file, this tab here, right mouse click and say paste. Okay? So if you just want to move designs from one screen to the other, it's simple. Right mouse click, highlight, right mouse click, say copy, open up a new tab, and say paste. And there you go. Very simple. You can do that with a JPEG, a PNG, a studio file, anything. If you want to move something from one screen to the other, highlight, copy, and paste. So now we know that these are PNG files that we need to turn into a cut file. We're going to put this up in the upper left-hand corner, grab one of the boxes, and we're going to pull and make it big. Okay, now this is still just a picture file. I can't cut this. If I was to send this, see, there's nothing there to send. There's no lines. There's no nothing. There's no, now if I print no color, it will cut a square box because that's what it sees. It will not select these because these are just a drawing. So we need to come back here to our drawing, and we are going to use the trace tool, which looks like the little butterfly over here. So I'm going to click on it, click on select the trace area. It gives you the little cross there. You see the little cross? And we're just going to draw a box. And let it work for a second, and there you go. Now, I always take my scale down to 4. I always have, if I read something that it's better to do that, so I've always done that. Can't give you an exact reason why to do it, but that's what I've always done. And then we're going to say trace. Okay, now here's our picture file. If you want to keep it, right mouse click, say cut, come back over here, and we're going to delete these and paste that one. Okay, see what I did there? These were here. So I highlight, I hit my delete key, and then I hit Control V because these were already on my clipboard. So come back here to, let's get rid of this. Okay, and we've got a now we have a cut file. So we are going to set this to the side for just a second. We're going to work on the little bee. Again, this little bee is just a picture file. So we need to trace him. Same thing. Highlight, trace, there he is. So we're going to take this guy, right mouse click, cut, come over here to the bee. I don't want this bee, so delete it and paste that one. Now these two files here, we can save them as we wish, or you can delete them. They're just picture files. So now we're going to come back over here, and we're going to work on the bee for a second. We're going to highlight the bee, and we're going to come over here to the Edit Points tab and click. And you see what happens with a picture file is that it gives you all of these edit points. If you were to cut this, then every point on there your machine would stop at, and it would cut real jerky, like, and it wouldn't be a nice cut. So we're going to come up here to this. And this is the convert shapes, just as it says on the screen. Convert shapes made from straight lines like GSD designs or a PNG design or a traced design into shapes with smooth Bezier curves and fewer points. So go ahead and click it and see what happens. All those points went away. Oops. Wrong one. Okay, let me make it big so you can see it. Turn it black so you can see it. Yeah, maybe. And click on it again, and you see all these points? That's great. They're nice, they're straight, they're gone. I'm going to click it again, and it takes out a few more. Now, if you were really picky and wanted these lines super straight, then what you do is click on them and delete them. And a little secret here is, let me get this big so you can actually see it on the screen. When you click on an edit point, watch the way that the red line goes. The red line will point in the direction that the next point is. So I'm going to leave this one right here because it's connected to this. And if I delete this point, it's going to put a line from here to here. I'll show you. I click it and I hit my delete key. Watch what happens. Now we don't want that. So I hit my back key. So I am going to, and that happens a lot, go to this one, and I'm just hitting my delete key. And all that does is just removes those extra points in there and makes things nice and straight. You don't need to do this. It's just something that I do. Now, you saw in that one, the direction of cut was going this way. If you look at this, the direction of cut is going that way. So we want to start over here and delete these. Whoops, went too far. Okay, undo, undo. And see, it'll make it nice and straight. Okay, I'll bring it down just slightly. And you can keep doing this until all of your points are deleted and your lines are nice and straight. This could take hours or this could just take a few minutes depending on how many points you have and how particular you want your finished design to look. So let's just do one more down here. Oh, here's one more. I didn't see this one. Scroll down. Computer's being a little slow today. I do apologize. Okay. And I believe we have one over here. Yep, this arm here. And put the screen back where it goes. And as you can see, all those excess points there are now gone. We are going to highlight it and we are going to fill it in with black. So there's our B. So we are just going to move him down and put him over here right now. Just save him off to the side. Now, this is going to be our background for our Save the Bees. So if we just highlight it, right now it is just one big design. So we're just going to highlight it, make it black, make it black. Now if I send this to the cut machine, you see now it will cut, okay? But I don't want all these in here. I want to remove some of these. So I'm going to highlight it, right mouse click on it and say release the compound path. Whenever you do a trace on a PNG or a picture of some sort, it will always make the file a compound path. You need to release that compound path to be able to move some of the components that are there. So we are going to click Release Compound Path. And what it does is it turns all of the lines, how can I say this? It fills everything in. So what we need to do is turn everything back to, you see I turned everything back to no color at all. Now I want this to be a little curved. So I'm going to highlight and delete Just come in here and highlight and delete. Make sure you get both the lines there. And I think that is going to be perfect, I think. Now I think I want to add another one over here. Now, let's take and delete that one, and delete that one, and delete that one. There we go. Just kind of eyeball it. That looks good to me. Maybe up a titch. There we go. All right, now I am going to highlight everything, right mouse click, and make a compound path. Because if I don't, then everything will move around and I won't have the outlines that I want. Okay, now if I wanted to make these solid, which I just might want to make these solid. So I'm going to say undo because I know undo, undo. Now, watch this. This is going to take a little bit of time, and I'm going to release the compound path, and I am going to come into the center of each one of these and drag it out. Okay, you don't need to hit delete, but just drag out. Oops, I think I took the outside of that one. Drag the insides out. Oops. Just a couple more here. See, I took the outside again. Oops. If you keep doing that, see, I'm going to highlight this and delete it because they're trash. So I just deleted the trash. If you have problems seeing things, let's go ahead and turn off the grid. See what I did that? I went up here to page setup and turned off the grid. Okay? Turn on the grid, turn off the grid. And then get rid of that. Highlight it and get rid of it. Highlight all three of those. Hit the delete key, get rid of it. And I don't like the gap in between those two. So I'm going to move it over just slightly. And now, right mouse click, make a compound path. When I turn it black again, they're all full. And I think that's what I want. Now, we are going to put in some bees. So here's our bee. So I just grabbed him, pulled him down here. Right mouse click and say duplicate. And right mouse click and say duplicate again. Because I want 3 bees. Now, you can just do it that way. Or you can come up here and click on the bee. Come over here to your replicate tool. And we're going to make 3 bees here. Either way works. Okay, that's your replicate tool. So we're going to take this guy here and this guy here, and let's say no, because I want to make them all the same size. So I'm going to highlight them and resize them. And if I do that, they all size equally. So I think that's a good size right about there. Get rid of these guys. And I'm going to turn them. So I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to grab the little handle, and I'm going to turn it. And I'm going to turn it. I'm going to turn it. Okay, right now I think that's good. And now we're going to write in here, save the bees. Now we need to find a font. And this is where you need to find a font that you like. In a previous video, I have had so many comments say that I mentioned a font and where to get it. And the site no longer has that font. So um, use whatever font that you feel that you like. I get a lot of my fonts. I purchase a lot of my fonts. Some of my fonts I get from some of the free sites, but most of my fonts I purchase my fonts. Just they're better quality, they cut better, and I just feel better about purchasing them than I do grabbing them free from the internet because I use fonts a lot. So I'm going to click on my fonts, and I've got one here. That one might work. This one I know for sure is a purchased font. And let me see over here in the Sifes. Now this one is a feature that you can only get with the higher versions of the Silhouette software. If you have the basic software, unfortunately, I don't believe you'll have this feature. So we're going to click on this one, and it shows me everything that is on the inside of or the additions to this font. So I'm going to scroll down here and see what is here. And this font is called Eskimo Kiss, as you can see, and the fonts have these little hearts in them, which I think is kind of cute. So let's go down to the okay, it looks like the hearts are only with the lowercase. So there we go. It's a lowercase font. And that's what puts all the hearts in there. Okay? So I think this is the one that I'm going to use. And while I'm here, I think what I'm going to do is I just need to type something here on the screen. And so I can get the additional fonts to come out here. So there's that. And no, maybe not. Okay. So we're going to ungroup these. You can see where I'm going with this. Duplicate. Nah, looks like they're pooping. So we're going to go ahead and say no on that. Now, this is getting really big for my cutting mat. So I'm going to highlight this all, and I am going to make it smaller and pull it up. Now, I can do a couple of things. I can leave this like it is, or I can do this. Highlight them both. Come over here to my alphabet, and I'm going to click on the Justify Center. And there you go. I think I am going to call this design good. Okay. And I think I'm going to try something else too. So now I'm going to highlight, right mouse click, and say make a compound path. It puts everything together. Now I can send this over to my cutting file, and I can actually cut everything that is here. and that would be one decal, ready, set, and go. Now, if I wanted to um, make this into a sticker, then I'd highlight it after I did the compound path. I highlight it. Then I come up here to the offset panel. Go ahead and click on it. The offset panel will pop up, and this is what will happen. Now, everything around it will pop up with an offset. Now, I want it so it's combined. So let's see if we can do this with the offset. Let me go ahead and increase. Come on, computer. And there we go. So it's a little bit big, so let's take it down a little bit. 0.35 instead of 0.45. No. You just have to play with it. All right. So here is going to be my sticker. Now, I don't want the machine to come in here and cut these out. So what this is two different components. Watch what happens. This is what I just created. When you create an offset, it makes it a compound path. So right mouse click, release the compound path, take it, highlight everything, and delete it. So you don't have to sit there and worry about, let me show you. If you do not separate these out, you can go and right mouse click and say release the compound path, and then you have to come in here and you have to delete every single thing that's here. No, I'm into quick, so we're going to separate it, right mouse click, or actually just drag it, highlight everything, and hit delete. But you're saying, well, how do I get these back together centered? You know, if I put them in here, I can't get them in the right. Yes, you can. Now highlight both of them. Come over here to your transform panel, click, and then come over here to your center to page and center to the design. First thing we're going to do is we're going to center to the design. Watch what happens. Watching. Boop. There we go. It puts it right in the center of the outline. We're going to highlight, right mouse click, and say make a compound path. Oops. Do we really want to do that? So watch what happens. Okay, you can come up with something like that. You can come up with a reverse image, or you can just say right mouse click and say group. And what will happen is you will have a black printing on a white sticker. But watch this. If you send this to your machine to cut it, what'll happen is you see it turns on the cut lines for everything here. And you don't want that. You do not want your sticker to have all of this cut out. You want this printed and just the outline cut. And I see this quite a lot. How do I get just the outline cut? Come back over here to the design, ungroup it because we grouped it. Very simple. Click on the outline, click on a different color like red. Now we're going to highlight it, group it together. When I send over here to send, I uncheck the black. So now the only thing that will cut in this design will be my outside design. I can see all the lights coming on in everybody's head. It's just that simple. Make the outside a different color. Turn off the cut lines for everything else. See, as you see, I have blue and I have black. Again, down here, that's for this for my logo down here. If I was to turn this on and turn this on, and then take and drag this over here, you see, it would cut it. But since it's off, the cutting mat, it won't cut it. So it doesn't matter if it's on or off. So we're just going to turn it off. So that is how you create a sticker or a vinyl decal from one design. All right, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this, have learned something. Sorry it was a little long. I just want to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. I truly appreciate your subscription. And bye for now. Hi, everyone. Back again. Boy, you know, when I was editing this, I forgot to tell you how to set this up to actually cut with a print and cut. So let me go over those instructions for you real quick. This is what I left you with a design that is set up to print as a sticker with your red cut lines. What I didn't show you was this. We're going to come up here to the registration marks. Now you find the registration marks in the page setup. So if you click this little piece of paper up here, go over to the third icon and click registration marks. This is the window that you'll get up. Click the down arrow and click type 1 and it puts your registration marks on your screen. We're going to go ahead and make the thickness as thick as we can just so the machine has something really thick to read with the eye. I'm going to come over here to the page setup, click, come over here and select current printer. Now this will be the printer that you have hooked up to your computer and the software knows what printer that is. Now I like to select the portrait setting because that's how I like things set up. I like it set up in portrait. And now as you see, the design itself is too big. So I am going to click on the design and I am going to make it the size that I want. Say I want it to be a 3.5-inch decal, or excuse me, 3.5-inch sticker. I'm going to come over here to my scale window after I've pulled it down a little bit, and I want to make it exactly 3.5. So lock the aspect ratio, highlight it, say 3.5, and hit enter. There we go. There's my sticker. Now, I also want to make sure that it's exact, and I don't want to wait for the machine to go all the way down to the end and all the way back up the edge. So I'm going to come back over here to my page setup, click on the registration marks and to advanced options. And it brings down the rest of these. Now don't be scared. All these do is just move these marks around on your page. And I am going to hit the bottom insert and I'm going to bring it up to 4. But that isn't close enough to me. I want it a little bit more. You can actually put this up as high as you want. So I'm going to hit 6 and hit enter. And that will put a nice box around the sticker. Now say I want to use the rest of this paper here. Right mouse click, duplicate, bring it over here, and I can set it up just like this, and it will print with both of these here. It will cut both of these, so you'll have one for you, one for a friend. Put it into the machine. Your machine will read this one, read this one, read this one. Go clickety click click click, and it will come in. It will cut around these lines here. It'll cut around these lines here. Spit it out, and you will be done. I'm sorry I didn't tell you that before I ended the last portion, but that's how you do it. If you're a new subscriber, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe buttons below. If you are already a subscriber, thank you very much. I truly appreciate that. That's it for now. See you next time.